Okay, so now that we've encapsulated the login functionality inside this custom useAuth hook, let's do the same thing with some of the other pieces of logic that we find inside our components. So the first one that we're going to do is going to be for our create account page. So let's actually open that up, and I'm just going to close some of these here to declutter a bit and open up useAuth again. And we'll also open up create account page. All right, so the way that this is going to work is we're basically just going to take this logic from create account page, put it inside useAuth, and everything is going to be pretty much the same as before. The main difference is that just like with our login function here, we're going to need to pass the email, password, and we're also going to need to pass confirm password as arguments to this function. So let's say const, and we're going to call this create account. This is going to be an asynchronous function here that will take the email, password, and confirm password. It's going to take those as arguments here. And once we've done that, we're going to start off by setting the error to an empty string. We're going to check to see if the password and confirm password are the same. So we'll say if password does not equal confirm password. We're going to set the error, and note that we're using this same error state inside useAuth as we are with our login function. So the error will essentially be shared between these two things, which, as we'll see, could actually lead to a few difficulties, but we'll get there in a minute. Okay, we're going to say set error to, what did we use before? We said passwords must match. Otherwise, we're going to try and log the user in, or create an account rather. And to do that, we're going to need the create user with email and password function from Firebase auth. I'm just going to adjust the indentation here like that. Oops, there we go. And then what we're going to do is inside a try catch block, because we want to handle these errors obviously, we're going to say const auth equals get auth. We're going to say await create user with email and password. We're going to pass in auth, email, and password. And then we could display an alert, but I'm just going to leave the alert out of this one as well. So for the catch block, on the other hand, it's going to look pretty similar to what we had inside our create account page. We're just going to say set error to e.message. Or better yet, we could just use this error messages thing up here, since that's now in the same file. So I'll just have the same line that we had inside login, and we'll say set error to error messages, blah, blah, blah. Unless that doesn't exist, then it will be e.message. So there might be some that are shared between here. Obviously, we're not going to see wrong password or user not found inside our, in the create account function, but we may well see this invalid email error occur. So anyway, the last thing that we're going to have to do here is return this create account function from our custom hook. To do that, we can just say create account. And here, let's just organize these a little more. I'm going to put the error first by saying error, and then we have login, create account. That should be all we need. So let's go back to our create account page now, and instead of having all of this logic inside here, we're just going to delete that. And we're going to use our custom hook, right? We can also get rid of the imports from Firebase there. We're going to import our custom hook by saying import useAuth from hooks useAuth. And then we'll just say const error and, create account equals useAuth. And we are going to need to modify where we call this function a little bit so that we can actually pass in the arguments that it needs. So down here inside our button, we're just going to say on click create account. That will be email and password and confirm password also. And that should really be all we need. So let's give this one a try now. We're going to see, let's see here. Am I on Sean 4, Sean 5? Yeah. So I'm going to create Sean 6 on the create account page. So let's log out. We're going to go to the create account page. We're going to enter Sean6 at gmail.com. Password ABC123. Same thing for confirm password. Oh, one thing I do want to show you actually before we go through doing this the correct way, let's enter in a password that doesn't match here and click Create Account. And that actually sent us through, which makes me think that I missed something inside here. Ah, yes. Okay, so when we set the error to passwords must match, we have to return in order to prevent this function from executing any further. Okay, so what was happening, we were getting this error, but it was still creating a user with that email and password. So let me try that again. All right, we're going to try and create Sean7 now. And let's go back to the create account page here. We're going to say Sean7 now at gmail.com. Let's enter in ABC123 exclamation point, ABC123. Actually, let's enter something different here now and click Create Account. We'll see passwords must match. If we make them match now, we'll say ABC123 exclamation point. And if we click on Create Account, we should be sent through and we'll see that we're now logged in as Sean7. So that seems to be working well. And that's how we add the Create Account function into our custom use auth hook. So I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.